funky.
It's very nice. That was
Good
and I just
job.
by the way, I won't hear for about 4 weeks because my headphones were adjusted for the Biden live stream, which got taken down from YouTube, as you all well know. But that was a slurp on beat.
Love it.
How about that?
He practiced all weekend.
Let
was
it never
good.
be. Love us or hate us, we blaze trails. Very excited for today's show, by the way. We're going to be talking about filling RBG's seat. We're going to be talking about the update on the riots. Recently, my name left the lips of Senator Ted Cruz at a Senate hearing, and we'll be playing bad movie lines. But first, my half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond, is here, and so is Dave Landau from Compound Media there, the Anthony Cumia show.
Hello, everyone.
And you have your own show. Can I say co-host with Anthony, or does he have a thing about that?
No, he's good. It's the Anthony Cumia show with Dave Landau.
Really?
It is.
Nice.
Good for you.
It's very small,
Yeah.
but it's on there.
Nick, you play your cards right, you could be doing a voiceover in Wheaties commercial.
One day.
I'm the sweet side.
I'm the tough side.
Oh, boy, I play a cop. And Quarter Black Carrot is here.
Hey, good morning.
Show him your hood pass.
What's up, dog?
That's fake.
It's been a while. I'm getting a little rusty.
Audio Wade and Gerald A. How are you, sir?
I'm well, sir. How are you?
Is the baby keeping you up while I adjust these headphones?
No. My wife's doing a fantastic job with the kiddo.
Really?
I get a full night's
So
sleep.
still married?
Yeah. Still married. Yep.
Very nice.
Absolutely.
That's good.
This
Very
is
much
about the
so.
time that I should let you know before we get to the question of the day. We are available also on Apple and Android, so you can listen to the podcast on audio because a lot of people don't know they want to take it with them on the road. And we will take in your live chat after on Mug Club. There's like 45-minute more show.
Yeah. Gotta
My
stay around.
question of the day first is: do you think that President Trump should be replacing the RBG seat, the notorious RBG? Remember when they tried to make her seem? They tried to make RBG seem like she was really hip.
Right.
Yeah, she's
and
hip.
cool.
You know,
I will
she's not
tell you
100 million years old.
Right, and even by that standard, that's a rough 100 million years old.
It really is. It is. Yes.
It was not. She wasn't fit as a fiddle.
No.
Right.
I
But
mean,
using
unless you found the fiddle in the tomb.
yeah, very cool. Using a reference from the 1990s.
Yes.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
And I want to be clear, because of our new deal with Spotify, we have to inform that we don't support filling the seat because RBG is still with us. So we need to wait until
as a guest
after,
on the show. Oh my gosh.
She's just having
lovely.
herself a nice vacation.
She's looking great for someone from the late trials.
Is that right, RBG? I don't know why she's doing. She's a bilingual RBG. And we can't have Joe Lewis
Side
in the
by
studio
side.
because he
That's
tried to eat her.
Yeah, nice little side by side.
Oh, wow. He did, huh?
She's bony. Yeah, she's all bone.
Dave, you're the only guest third chairman who I would feel comfortable doing this with.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I enjoy a good...
If you haven't had the target on your back from the stuff that you've done with Compound, this will be sure that, like the Predator, it'll laser in.
I just want to make sure, right in the center of my head.
Yes, exactly. It was just a
Don't wing
laser
me.
light.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get to meet her soon. Who knows?
But you mean you're going to be going to her beach house?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
I'll be breaking in.
And then write a sequel that is sort of the class study on a corporate cash grab where they don't even try that? Is that what you mean? I think that's what you meant. So before we move on here to the riots and to RBG, Jimmy Kimmel hosted the Emmys yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was talking with
about
Anthony
that.
Anderson. It was so painful to watch. But
Very
of course,
painful.
as always, they have to inject social justice. And it was even more uncomfortable considering that it was pre-taped and they were doing it without a live audience. So we do have a video of the exchange with, is it Anthony Anderson?
Anthony Anderson.
So
From
many
Kangaroo
Black
Jack.
Andersons, I can't keep track. And Jimmy Kimmel.
Because black stories, black performances, and black lives matter. Say it with me, Jimmy. Black lives matter.
What the hell going on up there?
Louder, Jimmy. Black lives matter.
UFO live on other planet, phoning home like E.T.
Louder, Jimmy. Say it so that Mike Pence can hear it. Black lives matter.
Soft brown stomach protects my knees and ankles from unnecessary wear and tear. Cállate. That means shut up in Spanish.
That's right.
To be clear,
That's right.
that pales in comparison to my homeland's prime minister, Justin Trudeau.
It does.
Some
I
people
forgot about
dabble
shame.
in
He looks
blackface.
scared.
Yeah.
Did you
Some people
see him?
dabble in blackface. His Trudeau's black. It's his raison d'être.
He's real blackface, though.
Yes.
I feel like we've now
real.
just confused a costume and blackface.
Right.
It's just a strange thing to me.
You mean the costume from Jimmy Kimmel?
Yeah, it's just a guy in a
I
costume.
don't have a problem with it.
I don't care.
But I do have a problem with the guy trying to crucify people for doing the same thing.
yeah,
Right? So-
100%.
But
the
I really,
hypocrisy.
yes, to be clear. I mean, come on, listen. You think I'm offended? Okay? I don't
not so much.
care. I know it's my white privilege. It's just I'm a tasteless person.
Yeah.
It's your tasteless person privilege.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
By the way, I love that we have another black man yelling at white men to say Black Lives Matter louder. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
When you're
Right.
forcing somebody, I mean, this has never historically been a
Yeah,
thing.
like forcing them at gunpoint. You
Yeah,
see that was
pretty
happening
much,
there
yeah.
in Portland.
Come
Like,
on,
you better
Jimmy.
raise your fist and say, and there's this
Right.
old man who's confused. Black Lives Matter. Like, say it louder. He's like, I can't. I did.
I have to poop.
And then they just, no, Joe
that
Biden
was Joe
wasn't.
Biden.
Oh,
Yeah,
Joe wasn't there. I'm sorry. I thought he was. Yeah.
Somebody else.
Now we move on to, by the way, does anyone here have to poop?
I'm good.
I'm
I'm good.
No? You
My stomach
evacuated?
does
Saving
hurt
that
from
for later.
Dirts from the programming in general. This is something you were asking me audio weight if this was surreal before we
Right.
move on to RBG and the riots, and we will get to that. Senator Ted Cruz in a Senate hearing mentioned when they were talking about sort of online censorship, and this is a really pivotal issue going into the election because people want to talk about Russian interference.
Yeah.
What was it? 3,000 ads with $10,000. I mean, that's something that an Instagram ass model selling MyFitTea spends in a week.
Yeah.
We're supposed to believe
Exactly.
that would tug at the thread of our institutions of a constitutional republic? No, of course not. But big social media, they're removing searches, they're putting them down lower in the search.
Yeah.
They've talked about how they will fact check any claim of winning the election, Donald Trump on election day, like nearly every election. So now all of a sudden the norms have changed a little bit. And Senator Ted Cruz was actually talking about his discussion personally with YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki. This is something that happened recently. Let's roll clip.
Let's talk about YouTube for a second, and our time is wrapping up here. Some time ago, I visited with the YouTube CEO who reports to Google, and she described to me with respect to Steven Crowder, another conservative/libertarian comedian, talk show host, who Google demonetized. She described how the left was pushing YouTube to ban him altogether, and she sat in my office and argued that we should be happy that YouTube didn't ban him, they simply demonetized him. They simply took away his ability to earn money, and she thought that was a middle ground, even though she conceded that he'd done nothing to violate YouTube's terms of service.
Wow.
I will say it's weird watching that.
That's gotta be strange.
it's got to be.
And concerning.
Yeah. He didn't call you an asshole. That's great.
But think about this. We talk about sort of how big media companies now, I mean, what was it, the West Indian Trading Company, like employed a fifth of population Earth? But there's never been a government entity more powerful than if you take up the big three, right? YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
No.
And they have had to call me out by name and talk about how they
like
can't
Caesar
get rid of
being
me,
like
but how they
Steven
want
Crowder.
to. It's worse than Caesar doing this. And it's like, I just have to be like, it was just a goof.
I was messing around.
And I don't know if this is going to help or hurt my case, but it should help. You can't take all of this seriously.
At least you're consistent.
I'm consistently an asshole.
That's terrifying.
It really is.
Really, I would worry.
Yeah, well, Hirono, what's the name of that crazy broad from Hawaii?
Hawaii.
She's like,
He
was pushing a hate speech. What she said,
That's actually a good impression.
pushing a hate speech. Oh, poi poi. Whatever the dish is. What's the dish?
It's not poi poi, I don't think.
Pokey.
It's
I
a
don't know. It's like,
Pokeball.
listen, stay on track, Hirono. This is a Senate hearing. I love a pokey. I love a pokey and censorship. So,
Japanese now.
Can't stop her. She's hungry.
I think Hawaiian.
hey, everyone stop. It's wrong to hate.
That's true.
It's true. The only thing I hate is hate.
Yes.
Speaking of heck,
That's the woke thing to hate.
But I
Like Biden just
hate
stealing
hating.
speeches. The only thing I hate is hate itself. My God.
end of sentence.
What's that crinkling? Happens every time you walk. Coincidence. You're not selling me on it. And this,
Potato chip hips.
this comes after the Biden stream, by the way, was removed on YouTube. This just happened, and thank you so much to people who joined at louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. We did the whole stream there, so it also was a little bit more wild and woolly because we were not having to be beholden to the YouTube standards.
Right, yeah, exactly.
It's not that different, but I may have made some jokes about the those of the homosexual persuasion.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
And YouTube claimed this is at the exact same time. Listen, half Asian Bill, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say that people know we have been communicating directly with YouTube. The Vox Apocalypse was because of us, and they reached out, and now Ted Cruz has been talking with Susan Wojcicki. He says that could be a long time ago.
Yeah.
We were just recently remonetized, so cat's out of the bag. There have been direct conversations, and you would think that being biggest conservative YouTube channel ever that, you know, we'd have a direct line of communication when a false copyright strike. This happened on Biden's stream, and YouTube said, they responded with, when we receive a valid DMCA takedown notice about content that allegedly violates the copyright of a rights holder, we're required by law to remove the content. We allow creators to file a counter notification. The key word there should be valid.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but was this a valid copyright strike claim? Was it from someone at Time Warner? Was it the president? Was it Jeff Zucker?
I don't think Zucker was on it. So this is the problem.
I call him Jeff Zucker. With an S.
When you both have a bad law with a company that doesn't even know how to enforce it in the right way.
Right.
Their system. So the DMCA, they're right. The DMCA does say that if you get a valid complaint that is signed under penalty of perjury, all of that, and they represent who they are, then you have to take this material down. However, this person is a known quantity. The email that was used to send this particular request was already flagged in 2019 and 2018 publicly as someone who had falsely represented they were part of various media companies.
Right.
So is it sets aside the fact that this was not even a copyright violation at all.
Right. Well, it wasn't a copyright violation. It wasn't someone who had the authority, right, to issue a copyright violation. And we've had several other false violations, right, flagging us. Has there ever been a single one that we haven't fought and won?
No.
Every single one. But guess what? You don't get that revenue back. When you're doing a stream and it's getting more viewers than CNN and it's climbing, 70, 80,000, however many people are watching it, you don't get it back. And then afterwards, just like we don't get back the revenue for the year, right? This is the unfair, selective application of the law. I want to be clear, and I think, Dave, you and I agree with it. It's not about censorship. If YouTube says, hey, we don't want conservatives and we want Joe Biden to be elected, fine. Now, I think their stock price would take a nosedive, but they keep claiming the opposite. And in this case, we have someone who's a known bad faith actor who's been doing this repeatedly. We didn't actually violate any copyright, and every single time precedent has been set before precedents could apply here, I guess.
No, just the first one.
Just the first one. That's what I thought. That's why I said it first. I said it first, but gave myself some wiggle room. Take notes, Joe Biden. Don't die on the hill when you don't know your shit.
Well, and more
the precedent is set that we've always fought and won. So all I'm saying is, at what point do you acknowledge, hey, we maybe should have an open line and give the benefit of the doubt to the creators who have actually been, we follow the rules. The leftists, who, by the way, these laws favor because they always want to silence speech, how many times have we gone around with a false copyright claim to get content or points of view that we don't like taken down?
None.
I don't think anyone in this room has ever even thought of it.
No. Why would we care? I want your ideas to be out there. If they're so bad, people can point at them and go, yeah, that's a really bad idea.
Right, they don't stand up to scrutiny.
By the way, after all of these false copyright strikes that we've gotten through, wouldn't you think they'd take 5 minutes, like, tune to the show, take a look, and be like, nope, they're not breaking any rules. Maybe this is something we should act on.
They'd have to have someone at Alphabet tune into the show and have an entire therapy wing.
Pretty much. They get one email from warnerbro@gmail.com.
Like, take it down. It wasn't even that. It was like completely random
Gmail.
It was like butterfly kisses 69 at Hotmail.
But isn't it just the ultimate hypocrisy? They're using the same thing that supposedly got Trump elected to basically get you off the air.
Right,
exactly.
Like that's their thing. And are we shooting a porn? Because there is a fireplace here.
There is a fireplace. Well, it's usually because Joe Lewis is here and he likes the warm fireplace, but RBG has been, she's been made of bones for years.
You don't want him to grab that.
No, he did. Before the show, he just all I see is,
I think there were some tumors on the bones for a while.
Tugging.
Yeah.
And I look down and I see him grabbing the throat. I'm like, no, not RBG, not RBG. That would instill mistrust in our institutions.
No, that crosses the line.
Doesn't Joe Lewis know?
She's fragile enough as it is.
And this also comes to the point. This is what's so scary about this is there's really no place to go at this point. Right. We've been talking about this. They need to decide if they are a public platform or if they are a publisher. Yeah. And you see recently there was a story with Spotify and Joe Rogan where they've been putting pressure on him, and they want direct editorial oversight over the podcast because people who work at Spotify are upset. Listen, boot them, Spotify. Fire those people. It's a licensing agreement. That's what Joe Rogan has. You have no right to tell him what to do. Unfortunately, we've seen a lot of the controversial podcasts not be ported over to Spotify. Right. And I would hate to see the content change. But we do know that employees at Spotify right now are wanting that to happen. Like, why do you want to? You just want to destroy all of the fun things.
It's a $100 million talent, and you're upset that some blue hair intern is angry.
Right.
Where's your investment?
Right. Right.
It's like, I don't know. Our stock price went up $200 billion, but she does have a pussy head.
Yeah.
That's compelling.
She does identify as 4 things. So, do you think we should get rid of them?
Tell us more about your WAP.
Yes. Is it wet?
Yeah, that's as they bring in Cardi B. I do not think that you should have Joe Rogan on your show because I cut my asshole when I was cleaning with my pinky nail. That's almost nonsensical.
That's going to mess your balance up.
It's going to mess your balance up. I've been walking with a limp, and since my weight carries low, it really affects me more like one of those dolls that like you punch and it comes back up. You're like, the fuck?
Why are you letting Joe Rogan go down there after eating a hot dog? That's going to make you sick.
All I'm saying is Joe Rogan shouldn't be on air, and y'all got to know how to clean your asshole.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Booty hole, clean.
If you haven't been following Cardi B's Instagram, that's not funny to you. It's just horrifying, as it should be.
I believe those are direct quotes from the Biden.
This was basically news if you haven't been following her. This is what she's saying.
Oh, speaking of news, let's go to CNN really quickly. What are they talking about?
University of Tennessee, the University of Florida,
More colleges canceling
Baylor
spring break
University,
to help slow
and
virus
many others,
spread.
Carnegie
Oh,
Mellon,
yeah.
making
What about the Folsom Street Fair?
Never did that for HPV.
Yeah, nothing like canceling spring break 7 months in advance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're expecting at this point. Let's just close all of the things. And why is this lady talking about it? She hasn't seen spring break in a decade. That's one of those weird things you can see. Listen, a pretty woman, but you know how you can tell is because the face is completely smooth, and then it's like her arms are like her neck's like an ex-bodybuilder's arms. Where the vascular degeneracy.
Yeah, she has the Jim Henson kind of beak.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the dark crystal.
Yes, very much.
Like she just had a podling in your chair. Just
So cool.
That's exactly right. The point is,
scary.
Don't trust her on spring break. So, let's go back now and look at the riots because this matters. Since RBG's death, the left, they've, of course, surprise, surprise, vowed more extreme violence.
Very peaceful.
Of course.
Here's the thing.
Mostly peaceful.
Threats don't work when you've already done the shit that you're threatening to do.
Right.
Do people understand that? It's like, we're going to burn your cities down.
It's already
I have a city view. I'm in a penthouse. Look, you don't even look. Just get the telescope out of the way and look with your eyes. What you're threatening to do, we're going to do more of that. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to leave.
Yeah, it's like the Bond villain hitting the bomb and then the rest of the movie happens.
Right.
I already did it.
Yeah, I have my ways of making you talk. What, are you going to have the laser slowly creep up my girlfriend, the love of my life's crotch area until it... No, I've already shot her in the head. Has that convinced you? No!
Yeah. That last song was so depressing. I just thought Bond was going to kill himself in the movie.
Was that the gay Sam, what's his name?
No, no, it wasn't Sam. It was the other one, the girl.
Oh, Billie Eilish.
No,
Yeah.
Did you get a Bond song?
That movie hasn't come out yet.
Oh,
yeah.
It's very whispery.
I think it's just "I Want to Die" will be.
Is that what?
Yeah. That's very Billie Eilish.
Die again tomorrow, forever, dying another day.
It's so depressing.
But it's going to sound like Pseudo Lord.
Yeah.
License to Die another tomorrow.
When did that happen with every single film preview? It's like
every
fade to black
trailer's
and
slow.
And they all have that stupid, like, why certainly newsboy accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Die tomorrow. Stop! Can you be creative with anything?
It's either that or the entire movie.
Right, yeah.
That's the other trailer.
Yeah.
Like,
Or-
wow, it just ended.
Or no movie sometimes, like just a bunch of jump cuts.
Yes.
Like, what is this? I get that you're this Oscar bait.
Tells me
I
nothing.
saw Sean Penn crying. Okay, is it his daughter? But what's the film about? Then you show up, you're like, oh, pedophiles. You could have
every
You could have
film.
saved me an hour and a half.
Everything. Yeah.
But how would they get you to watch it if they said that in the trailer?
That's absolutely true. Worked for cuties. So, RBG, they've been threatening more violence, and you know what? Here's something people don't. They already got started over the weekend. So RBG died. If they fill this seat, this is the controversy right now. Where people are saying it's hypocritical for Republicans for Donald Trump to fill this seat, this empty seat on the Supreme Court. Which again, it's more so that she's stepping over. So we want to be clear. Don't buy the fake news.
She's
but
okay.
they
Look at
did
her.
protest. They did threaten more violence, and they already got started underway this weekend. But don't take my word for it.
Somebody record this. Somebody record this. Catch that for me.
I just thought they had an MC.
Yeah, that's what
I was live performing the riots. Hopefully beating your ass.
Oh, boy.
Someone's squeaking a dog toy?
Squeaky, squeaky.
Oh, look at this dog.
This one's creepy. I hate this.
Yeah, I really hate this. The
one with the dog in the back?
The reason that dog, if you guys can see, look, you'll see the dog at one point. Yeah, the only reason the dog didn't maul them was because they had it. I want to be really clear, and half-Asian people might not like me saying this, but if you reach in my car, Betty and Joe Lewis will cause permanent harm to you and be rewarded with every cheese I can find. And I feel no remorse whatsoever. I'm not saying that it needs to exit the vehicle.
Right.
What you put in the vehicle will remain in the vehicle 5 exits down.
It'll just be this blood squirting arm in the passenger seat.
I mean, we've all seen Jurassic Park. That's about what happens.
They can smell your jugular. That's the point. And I believe they had a Massachusetts plate. That was his violation.
Was it?
I think that's what it was.
Well,
I could be
they were
wrong.
actually there to protest.
Yeah, they were there to help.
protest.
It was
They
friendly
got smashed.
fire.
Yeah, it was friendly fire.
I really hope they understand us.
anti-Trump guy.
See how everybody else feels? See?
No, they don't care. They're not going to understand this moving forward. They're just going to go burn other people's stuff. And I will tell you this. This is like when they were beating up that raccoon, the Black Lives Matter activists. Listen, I know people will say, well, you're a meat eater. I am. It's not purposeless, needless, meaningless death. Context matters. Yes, I eat meat. I don't go out and throw a rock at a dog for no reason. Yes, I eat meat. Yes, I enjoy venison. Yes, I might go for a deer hunt this year. I wouldn't beat a raccoon with a stone just to prove a point.
Yeah, and was the raccoon a cop?
Yeah, how did...
I don't know. I would have assumed he was on their side with the.
Yeah.
It's the one animal that always has the mask.
They're bandits every time.
Wearing a mask.
It's permanent.
And it's about as effective as those people who always wear a mask.
They come out at night. They don't have jobs.
Just like
They should
you.
relate.
They loot. They're looting masked animals.
Yeah, they don't ask to take your garbage.
They don't
They
ask.
just have at it.
They should be your mascot, if anything. Come
Think
on.
about it. Yes.
Wait, so
You
wait a
pick
second.
the worst animal to kill.
Are raccoons like the common enemy that we all need to bond around and be like, oh,
yeah.
they're here.
Yeah, those
We're gonna
raccoons.
To eat our rotten
Whoa.
lunch.
It's really more of a symbol.
Raccoons.
I think you're
Whoa.
talking about sacrifice. This doesn't feel right.
Yeah. it doesn't feel right.
I'm talking about hat wear.
Oh. Well, you know.
I'm talking about.
Davey, hey,
Davey Crockett.
I'm talking about
Good style.
face wear because I, unlike Dave Landau, believe the scientists. So let's review this really quickly. Now they're protesting even more. The George Floyd-based riots, started in, I believe, late May.
May, yeah.
That's when they started.
Yeah.
Right. It was right after the
Labor
Mud Club
Day.
quarantine month. Yeah.
Or Memorial
Which
Day.
the worst, you know what, though? It was Memorial Day. That's right. It wasn't Labor Day. Because I was going to say, sometimes they're still rioting, and I've seen a few pairs of white pants.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You shouldn't
It's
ever.
so tacky.
No.
I know.
I think
These
that's
people
the
don't
cause of the rioting.
If you're going to be throwing bear mace on a cop, can you at least respect our social norms? No white pants after Labor Day.
I mean, if you're going to loot a Macy's, they have pants.
they do.
You have no excuse
Just
at this point.
loot the pants, just don't take the white ones. First week of protests,
No
there
class.
were 13 people killed. Right, 13 people killed. Since then, they've killed more. Over 30 people have died at the protests. Over 1,000 law enforcement casualties, injuries, and people who get mad saying, "Well, you say casualties? Casualties do include deaths and injuries."
Because it's the correct term.
And we've always said this. We're like, well, the number was $700 million, and it never went up. We were talking. I'm pretty sure that it's
wait.
significantly more. According to Axios, it's minimum $1 billion, likely $2 billion, and you
Likely
know
two.
it's higher than that. This
Yeah.
is coming from insurance companies at this point, not a government agency who wants to say all is well.
Yeah.
The insurance company's like, well,
Nothing to
actually,
see.
no, it's not, because people are collecting claims and shit, and we've
paying
kind of our patience has sort of run out. Insurance is sort of fire safety, but not literal perpetual fire safety. Then over the weekend,
I just can't wait to see a Morgan Freeman or one of those Allstate riot commercials.
Yeah.
For just riot
that's not Morgan
insurance.
Freeman. That's the
yeah.
black guy from 24.
Other black.
Yeah. The other black Freeman.
The lesser god.
Freeman the Lesser.
Are you in good flaming hands? I don't know what is happening.
Is your
Riots
car
of
burning
2020?
and your house and your business?
BLM.
Yes.
Did Antifa slip on your porch?
BLM insurance. Because it matters.
With our good homeowner reward program, you can place this spotter in your house that lets us know if you have not responded in protecting your own property.
We suggest putting up a BLM flag as if it's the Bible.
They may
blood.
pass over.
And we encourage a reaction of serious surprise when they eat their own.
And when you shoot them, somehow it's your fault.
Yes. pretty much if you're just white,
just white.
Don't plan on us getting to that claim anytime soon. Are you in good hands?
Too bad I didn't dress like I did in the 90s. I was barely white.
Really? Were you that guy?
Oh, I was.
Were you wearing the MC Hammer pants?
I wasn't quite that, but I
Zeke
definitely
Cavaricis.
had the Adidas tracksuit, the
like
Figaro
a
chain.
FUBU
Oh, nice.
and-
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed my drugs.
You were Flava Dave?
I was Flava Dave.
Oh. Flava Dave.
So,
Even a broken
so much.
clock.
I was wondering why he was speaking that way when he came in.
Yeah.
Do you want a coffee?
turned it off.
Yeah, I would love to have a coffee flavor, Dave. What are you doing, Dave?
It's like, got a
You're
clock.
no longer welcome here.
No, it makes sense. Yeah.
Please leave. So let's go. Over the weekend, there were some very specific threats. Okay, University of Waterloo, the political science professor Emmett McFarlane. That's not doxing because he tweeted this publicly. Burn Congress down before letting Trump try to appoint a new SCOTUS.
Yeah.
Then we have Reza Aslan, who I believe was a CNN contributor and personal favorite of the Young Turks for a while.
True.
And he also ate human brains on TV. So I don't think he has that much of a
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
with the raccoon deal. He said if they even try to replace RBG, we burn the entire effing thing down. So these are, it's one of those deals where they say, hey, your silence is violence, right? Like your silence and not speaking out and holding up your fist and saying Black Lives Matter is violence. Do you mean because you're going to punch me in the face even though I'm 65 in my own Prius afterward? Yes, I guess technically a form of inviting violence. These people invite violence by actually inviting violence, actually encouraging violence, and then people act out on the violence. And I do want to note, listen, not every protester is violent.
Correct.
But come on, over 1,000 officer casualties, over $2 billion in damages, over 30 deaths. At what point do you say, okay, it's not really peaceful? And by the way, Kyle Rittenhouse, that guy Rosenbaum he shot, people have been talking about. You know what? That guy raped 5 kids.
Yep.
You
Are
can
you
go read the
serious?
police report. Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't just sexually accost. He didn't just show them naughty
Wow.
pictures. He raped 5
5.
kids.
But what
How's he
did he
out on
do
the
wrong?
But no, Stephen, you're forgetting Kyle had a weapon.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is much worse.
And believe me,
And
the
he did it
irony is
correctly.
not lost on me. The fact that he was blown away by a minor is delicious.
It's so good. It's so good.
He was chasing
Yeah.
a minor
Yeah.
and was blown away by a minor. It's the perfect way to go.
He died doing what he loved.
A movie
Chasing
plot.
minors.
I mean, you literally could find like a Hannah meets that other movie that Phoenix just made that's terrible.
What?
The guy
Joker?
Joaquin
Phoenix?
Phoenix, his brother died. Who's
Joaquin
the,
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Joaquin
Joaquin.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Get
so
your
Joaquin
references.
did the movie
Yeah,
where
really?
he goes out and he kills pedophiles, and then you just
Oh,
make-
yes.
and you mix that with Hannah.
I'm hardly
which is a
here or
kid.
whatever.
Yeah. Which confused me because of the same title as, what was it, like I Was Never Here?
Yes.
Was
Yeah.
his one where he played the rap thing?
Yes, I just noticed the cleft lip.
Yeah, and
Yes.
also he broke his he has like a weird broken clavicle, like he's a walking prawn.
Yes, and he's got the beard in it, and he's just
Yeah.
It
How
was-
much you do wonder how much of it is like good acting versus he's just a disturbing
He's just
person.
a weirdo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You can fit him in the right role. Works.
So this is where we are right now with this violence. They have yet to condemn it entirely on the left,
Right.
calling out Antifa and Black Lives Matter. But I do think, listen, I've talked about you forfeit your right to live if you play the knockout game, if you break someone's car with a rock, if you aim a rifle into a car. I've said that's different from deserving to die, crimes worthy of capital punishment. Raping 5 kids, for me, you deserve to die. Doesn't mean that Kyle Rittenhouse had the authority to execute that person.
Right, exactly.
But if we are going to act like these people, and by these people, again, this Rosenbaum guy, white, so let's not try and hang me on that, though he did use the N-word repeatedly.
He
If
did.
we are going to
That's
act
right.
like not every single one of these people is a multiple serial time felon, the kind of felonies that not just, okay, he knocked over a liquor store, the kind of crimes that make you sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
We can't listen. You cannot separate the two at this point when the people who you paint the murals for are all awful human beings who you not only would you not let alone in a room with your daughter, you wouldn't let them look at your daughter.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let them within the vicinity of your daughter.
Yeah, but if all you watched was CNN, you would have no idea that cities are burning across America when these riots are happening. And of course,
it's
there
mostly
are
peaceful.
No, look, if we want to, we've said this before. If you want to compare what a peaceful protest is in a time where we thought things needed to change, you can look back to the Tea Party group, right? They came into places, they protested, they were very vocal about what they believed, and then they left and cleaned stuff up as they left, right?
Yeah.
That's your compare. If you want to have a litmus test, a bar to hit, that's it. Not these mostly peaceful protests.
Well, Rosenbaum only raped 5 kids. He was mostly not rapey for his life.
If you count all the kids that he met, he was a mostly peaceful
He was a
rapist.
mostly non-rapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the time.
Joe Biden, I bet, didn't sniff every child.
No, just I bet he did.
He tried.
How else could he
really
attend,
tried.
How else could he attend a Christmas pageant?
That's true.
He loved them.
They'd never get through Silent Night.
Yeah.
Forget
true.
Little Drummer Boy.
He wanted to be Santa.
He'd
and
be
let them sit
sniffing
his
on
lap.
beat.
Yeah.
Like me with my slurping. So this violence now is because they're thinking about replacing RBG, and they're saying this would set a crazy historical precedent. This is a violation of all norms, and they're trying to point to Republicans for being hypocrites right now, or conservatives. And I want to know what you think. I don't buy it. What were you about to say?
I was going to say, how is it a Republican's fault? She got diagnosed with terminal cancer in 2009 and just waited to die.
That's Trump.
That's
Definitely Trump.
She could have stepped aside then.
Right.
Trump left her water bottles in the car.
Yeah.
That's true.
It just seeps into the liquids.
Is that what happened to her? Somebody left her in the car outside of a rehab?
He lightly coated all of her mugs with BPA.
Her head just melted like a baby in the backseat.
And then he also installed a plant for her assistant, and she didn't rinse her fruit.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
He's very clever with that. He plays the long ball. So now they're saying this is historically unprecedented. And this is actually another quote from Joe Biden, which I wouldn't say I love, but let's show it anyway.
Her granddaughter said yesterday and said publicly,
RBG's granddaughter.
Right.
that her dying words were, quote, "My most fervent wish is that I not be replaced until a new president is installed."
Are you speaking at a public pool?
As a nation, we should give
Usually.
her a final call to us, not as a personal service to her, but as a service to the country, our country, at a crossroads.
Now watch this dive, and the camera pans to the 6-year-old Chinese girl. Okay!
Cannonball!
By the way, I'm also pretty sure that RBG's at that point on the last day, the words were, okay, this lady was serious cancer.
It was 2 days prior to her death, actually.
And one lady's last words are only a basis for a system of appointing new Supreme Court justices. Think about this first. Who cares?
Yeah.
And she knows that as well as anybody. Are we supposed to just honor everyone's... What if Donald Trump were to die tomorrow and he just said, and my last wish is no other presidents ever.
Right. Yeah. How about Muhammad's last word? Kill all the Jews. That's tough.
A few honored that.
Yes.
Yeah.
One guy really tried.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure he had some pretty tasty last words too. We probably shouldn't be following
But
those.
this is just such a lie that they try to make this like magical idea that she was like, I don't want to be. She didn't know anything. She was just like, is that my mother?
She gambled incorrectly on Hillary Clinton. That's what happened.
That's all.
She's like, shit.
I screwed up.
She's also somebody who called Colin Kaepernick, disrespectful for kneeling. And now all of a sudden you see those exact same people just going crazy online. It's like, it's got to suck to find out your hero died the same day you realized that was your hero.
Yeah. And she also, by the way, said that she didn't want to pack the Supreme Court with more justices. She did say that she didn't think it was necessarily super effective, the 9 justices, but when you look at Joe Biden, these other people who do want to add to the Supreme Court. Now, I know what people are making the argument, and I want to really quickly clarify this, and then I'll use some historical precedent. The difference between Barack Obama and Merrick Garland, that's what people are pointing to, right?
Yep.
His last year of the presidency, he wanted to appoint a justice, and the Senate blocked it. They go, oh, you can't do that now. That was 11 months. Right now, it's within a month of election. Okay. The difference here between the Scalia death and Merrick Garland, and RBG is Barack Obama was a Democratic president.
Yep.
And you had a Republican Senate. So before we even get into decorum and history, listen, it's as simple as Barack Obama used his absolute authority as president to select a Supreme Court justice to nominate, and then the Senate used their absolute authority to reject it. In this case, the exact same scenario, Donald Trump has the authority to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and the Senate has the right to confirm it, period. That's really what it comes down to, and that's why they were saying it was historically unprecedented, specifically for a divided government. Let's be really, really clear on that. It's not inconsistent at all with what's happening now, and also something that people need to take into consideration, that also was effectively a vote of no confidence. When they have a Democratic president and then they elect a Republican Senate. Well, guess what? They've not only elected a Republican president at this point, but they've added seats to the Republican Senate in 2010, 2014, and the most recent midterms. Consistently. I think it was 6-7-2 or 9-7-2. So there hasn't been a single midterm where they haven't added Senate seats. The people have spoken. Donald Trump is the president. It's a Republican Senate. They have the right to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and that's what they should do. Now, this does
but
go...
she wishes, though. She has wishes.
But
she did.
Final thought.
She coughed.
That's true. That's
Guys, she's right here. We're talking about her.
Oh, yeah,
in
like she's
front
not
of
even
her.
in the room.
Well, you know, listen, she's being a good sport, and we turned off her microphone.
I mean, she's having fun. Look at her. Man.
What are you, Bill
Also
O'Reilly?
Also her
smile.
ventilator.
Ouch.
She's not wearing a mask.
Oh,
She's as good as dead.
Oh, no.
Well, you know what? Listen,
She's
at this point,
on our side.
COVID is a sweet release. So there's been a Supreme Court, there's been a SCOTUS vacancy, I want to be clear, in an election year 29 times. History.
29.
The president made a nomination in all 29 cases.
That's a precedent.
10 nominations were the scenario that we are currently facing now, right? With the same party controlling the Senate. 9 out of those 10 were successful Supreme Court nominees. That these happened within an election year, president, Senate, same party, 9 out of the 10 were seated. What's the term? Should I say seated? Appointed?
Appointed.
Well,
Take a
confirmed.
seat over there!
Appointed
Corrected.
and confirmed.
Yeah.
Appointed and confirmed.
Here's the thing, and this is the point you were getting to, which is what are the powers and what does the Constitution and the applicable laws say? And they say, if you get through the appointment process and you get through the confirmation process, you're in. I agree that there were some stupid comments made back in 2016 by some Republicans that are now coming back to haunt them, literally by word. But literally the system itself is still there.
Right.
The nomination can occur. And on top of that, the confirmation can occur. We have the ability to do it. It's not unprecedented to be able to do it. But what is unprecedented is how the leading 2 candidates, both of whom are women, are being excoriated by the left about all of their policies. Get this. One of them is a Latina woman out of Florida. So apparently now it's just like, oh, I can't believe you would nominate the second Latina woman because she's conservative.
Right.
Of course.
And then the other one, we really don't like her because she's a woman, and you know what? She's too Catholic. Way to win the Latino vote, Dems. Like,
There's just some Latino lady lighting a candle. ¿Qué?
Yeah.
¿Por qué? Dios mío, no!
Yeah, that's what you want to lose. Every single person
Yeah.
who has a bathtub with Mary on it on their front.
The one out of Florida, right? So her family escaped from, I don't know, Cuba.
Right.
So, that's what we definitely don't want. We don't want anyone on the Supreme Court whose family knows the danger of communism.
Who wants someone who's actually experienced the dangers of socialism as opposed to Barack Obama taking a photo op in front of Che, who also was gay? What were we about to say there, Dave?
What's up? I was just saying how much I enjoyed Che's gayness.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why he executed too many of them. He thinks that's protest too much.
Jealous.
The ones that
Don't want him
projection.
talking about it.
This election year argument, what do you boil down the presidency to essentially 2 years?
Rage Against the Machine left that out of their
They did. Yes.
their T-shirt.
They did. I mean, they're going
It's
to
his face
vote.
like this, zoom out, and it's just a butt. Yes.
All right, it's terrible. You're gonna vote on the shut up. Go ahead. They're gonna vote on the Senate every 2 years. Right? You have midterm elections, right? You're gonna have people being voted on in the Senate, and you have a presidential election every 4 years, right? So really, we don't get to govern at all. The presidency really is you get your first 100 days, and then after that, we don't want to hear from you again, and then you get your next 100 days after that Senate stuff has happened, and then we don't want to hear from you again because presidents are voted in for 3.5 years, I think, and not actually 4. Sorry, that I really guess
Bitches need to watch some Schoolhouse Rock. And I don't mean conjunction because you already know their function, but there's a bill sitting on the Capitol steps who would like to speak with you. Let me be clear about what Lindsey Graham said because I understand there were some Republicans who followed suit and didn't actually take the full context of what Lindsey Graham had said because now they're trying to use his words against him. And let me be clear, it would be like me when I've talked about in this show, listen, YouTube can do whatever they want. It's not censorship because it's not the government, but what is corporate censorship is when a company says or claims that they have certain rules and they apply them selectively and with different standards. Right. I've made that clear. You can probably find an interview down the line where I would say, well, listen, people are tired of the censorship occurring on social media because not every single time do I have the seconds available to go through the paces. Right. Yeah. And that's what happened with Lindsey Graham. Let me be really clear. In his argument that he made, he said, well, Merrick Garland was a different situation. You had the president of one party nominating and you had the Senate in the hands of the other party. A situation where you've got them both would be different. And by the way, you know who else made the argument that you should appoint Supreme Court justices in the last year? Joseph Biden, back in 1992, before the cerebral plaque set in.
Deterioration.
The gray matter left.
The gray matter. I don't know if plaque is gray matter, white, how it shows up on your brain.
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
I don't know if it's white. Let's
brain scan. I can see your plaque. I have no plaque. That's the kind of thing. If you just wanted to get Joe Biden to just you say, I can see your brain plaque. No!
You cannot.
I don't know. Prove it. I'll prove it. Yeah. Push-ups. And he would do like one-arm push-ups with the left side of his face would go on like this.
Yeah, if he had more strength, he'd just be Jack Palance right now. I guarantee it. That's all he does is get violent for no reason. Just like shoves people.
Or he'd be like attempting to be a Jack LaLanne, but not successful. He would just be, instead of his dog Sprite, he'd just be kicking his dog across the room. Like, get out of here! Give me my juicer!
He's just drowning with a rope attached to a piano.
That's the English Channel. You just swimming and just gradually getting lower, like a water moccasin, just ahead.
Bye bye.
Anyone who is not familiar with Jack LaLanne's feats of strength, shame on you. That was funny. So he made the case in 1992. He even made the case for the precedent being predicated on this idea of a divided government. Go and read his statement. You have the link right there in the overlay. Read his entire statement in context. It could read like Lindsey Graham's argument or Donald Trump's argument or our argument today. And keep in mind, it is also tough, though. He did make this argument before. I don't want our argument to rest on that exhibit. Because Joseph Biden is the same guy who said this.
And perhaps, most cruelly of all, if Donald Trump has his way, the complications from COVID-19, which are well beyond what they should be. It's estimated that 200 million people have died. Probably by the time I finish this talk.
200 million people who died. But if that's only 7 million cases, it'd be 2,800% death rate. He's retarded, right? Is that what
I think that's the takeaway. That's what we determined.
Is that
the takeaway?
Approximate? Do I need Christopher Plummer to show up in my imagination?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That echo is just walking out and like, who's ready to rock? And it's just one guy.
I really want. Can you set my mic to sad Peter Frampton guitar?
You know where most people leave halfway into the show.
It was a full rally at the beginning.
I want a whole room going, let's beat traffic.
I was like gets tighter and tighter and tighter as the crowd leaves.
That is the Biden rally. It's like finding out who the winner is at medieval times. Like I don't care if it's red or blue. It
doesn't matter.
It doesn't affect my life. I'm out.
Let's go.
Before the lot is filled with angered 2-year-olds in sippy cups.
The chicken sucked again.
Every time.
Okay, so here's another argument they use. Well, it isn't legally a precedent, half-age abortion. So they say, well, what about decorum? Okay, let me be really clear about this because I do believe that conservatives need to be consistent. I've tried to talk about this in the past. However, let's talk about sort of the decorum precedent that's been set. When you knowingly slander a man to be a gang rapist, as you did with Kavanaugh in front of his wife, in front of his family, in front of the entire world, knowing verifiably that it's false, or at the very least completely baseless, guess what? You rewrote the rule book. We don't owe you anything. You're going to say it's unprecedented when 29 times throughout American history a situation like this has happened. 10 times a situation like this has happened exactly, with 9 of these justices actually being confirmed when you had the same presidential party and Senate, and you want to tell us it's a violation of decorum. We just don't do this. We're going to, was it Chuck Schumer said, nothing is off the table. We're going to go nuclear.
Nothing.
Well, really, hold on a second. Again, with the threats. It's like the threats when they say if RBG's seat is replaced, we're going to violently protest. Well, you've already committed $2 billion in damage and took over 8 city blocks in a city that nobody likes, asshole. What else you got? At this point, they go, we're going to go to a nuclear option. Oh, really, a nuclear option? You labeled this guy a gang rapist. You made it sound like he was trying to run a train on a woman like the baseball Furies, for crying out loud. What else is there? What other nuclear option? So you threw out the rule book. We are beholden to nothing. Nothing at this point. Fill the seat. Sorry, RBG. I wish that I had been softer.
Well, and the Chuck Todds of the world were carrying their water this weekend, just going ballistic on Republicans, saying that they can't believe they would do something like this. I'd love for you to rewind a little bit to 2016 when the Merrick Garland situation happened. Were they up in arms then? I mean, I don't remember seeing CNN and MSNBC and everybody else saying, no, you should not be. A new president's coming in one way or the other because you're going out. Right. You should definitely wait. And using Joe Biden's words against him, that nobody did that. Nobody brought that up.
And by the way, it's this simple. Barack Obama nominated. He nominated. What are the terms? What are the order? Nominate, confirmation.
Yeah. Nominate. Then
Nominate, confirm, then appoint.
Yeah.
Nominate, confirm, appoint. Barack Obama did use his authority.
He did.
Nominated a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
And the Senate said, yeah. That's our system of checks and balances.
Yes.
No.
It's like, no, you know how I wanted you to confirm my nominee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
They didn't have the votes.
All right.
So, and that's what's crazy is that they're relying on the decorum. Back then, they were like, well, normally these guys would just sail through. Well, we're not letting them sail through this time. None of the arguments are about the actual power.
Right.
Not then or now. Not a
Right.
single one of the arguments are actually, wait a minute, we have the law on our side and the law says X, Y, Z. Instead, they're just having to say, we really don't like the way that this would look. We're really serious about it. We're so. I mean, they do it very angrily, but I can't even muster the energy.
But decorum's out the window when you're burning down cities. I mean,
Right.
it's just done at this point.
Well,
Yeah,
no, look,
exactly.
I agree with that and I understand that, but at the same time, you do what's right even when it's inconvenient, right? And
Sure.
that's what I would go back to. And you even said that, like, you want to make sure that you're consistent. Consistency right now would be telling every Democrat who has a problem with this to look back at 2016.
They should
and look
line up
back
in
at
front
Joe
of
Biden.
Che.
Yeah, exactly. Look back at what
right.
Joe Biden said. Nothing is happening out of the ordinary. This
Nothing
is completely
happening
ordinary.
outside of the ordinary. The president is going to nominate a Supreme Court
Right.
justice. The Senate is likely going to confirm it, and you can go fornicate yourself with a wire brush.
Yeah, and here's a reason they say that let the people speak, and that was what they said in 2016. When you have a Senate divided, the judiciary rests with the White House and the Senate, and when people put people,
Why
of the
you got to
same-
bring race into it?
No, I didn't say that.
Son of a bitch.
When the people vote for the same
show's
party,
over.
they're saying, I like your judicial philosophy. Go for it. Do what you need to do. That's exactly what happened here. When they vote somebody else in,
Right.
basically what the people are saying is, we don't like your judicial philosophy. Don't go ahead. The
Right.
people have already spoken.
Yep.
That doesn't need to happen
They've
again.
spoken again in every single midterm, too,
Yeah.
adding more Republicans to the Senate. By the way, hit the notification bell if you are watching this, because subscriptions don't mean a whole lot on YouTube. We do this show
Basically
every
nothing.
morning, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. And do consider joining Mug Club. We have a major announcement, by the way, regarding Michigan, the state capitol in Lansing on October 2nd. A big
enormous.
show, the biggest thing we've ever done on that Friday.
It's huge.
So find your way on down to that's Lansing State Capitol in Whitmer's backyard, where she takes poops on October 2nd.
And let your
I
grandma
didn't know that.
die.
That's news to me. Yeah.
That is news. Here's the final argument. Now they go to norms and institutions.
Yeah.
Right? They go to decorum. Is just kind of different. It's kind of all the same because they don't really have a leg to stand on. But norms and institutions. The point that they're making right now is that it's tradition. Right, hold on, tradition. We've already kind of dispelled that.
It's not.
But they've been trying to pack. When we talk about norms and institutions, keep in mind, this is the party that wants to do away with the Electoral College. Okay? This is the party that just wants to
That
add
norm.
seats. And by the way, do they want the filibuster? Do they want to ban the filibuster?
They wanna get
It
rid of it,
depends
yeah.
who's
Yeah.
president
Year
at
to
that
year.
point. Year to year. We want the filibuster. All right, listen. It's like asking a guy to go in the back and pick something for you. Oh, this is just a display model of this LG? Do you have any more? Let me go check in the back. And he brings it out and you go, actually, now I want a Panasonic. And you're like, all right, he goes back, he comes back. Like, actually, now I want a Westinghouse because I lost my job and I hear those are more affordable. It's effectively an off-brand. We don't sell Westinghouse at Best Buy, sir. That's Walmart. Well, you know what? I guess I'm going to take my cash elsewhere. That's what they're doing with the filibuster. They want to talk norms and institutions. They don't want us to continue with the Electoral College. Let's be clear about that, okay? Right. They don't want us to accept the results of the elections. They don't want us to
Under any
actually
circumstances.
conduct elections the way that we've always conducted
Ever. Yeah.
elections.
Yeah.
And they want to pack the Supreme Court. Keep in mind, they're complaining about something that is entirely within not only constitutional parameters, but historically, there's been a standard set. They have been clear that if Biden is elected, they want to change all of it and pack the courts. Here you go.
If, in fact, they are successful in placing a justice on the court, I think that what Democrats have to do, assuming that Biden is president and there is a Senate majority for the Democrats, we need to think about court reform. And at a minimum, as part of that reform package, I think additional justices need to be placed on the Supreme Court.
I don't care, photo-negative Ned Flanders.
That's court reform, or
That's court reform.
So basically, you don't like the opinion.
Reform usually mean like bringing it back to its original purpose or intent?
exactly.
Yeah,
Isn't that the
But
idea?
there's that pesky
Or
Constitution
destroying.
they don't like either. They want to
They're not a huge
rewrite
fan
that
of
as
it
well.
Ever
so,
since it
you know,
raped Jimmy Carter.
pretty much.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
It's a sad day.
Yeah, for him.
In the
For the old
Constitution, come on.
for the old sweater-wearing peanut farmer.
Yeah.
Everyone else, it was just another day. So let's be really clear. That's what they want to do. They're clear about it. They've said, don't accept the results of the election big media. This is also important. When I say big media, big tech, we talk about this. Really, they're one and the same with the leftist government right now because they follow lockstep with the same policies. When you have effectively Hillary Clinton coming out saying, under no circumstances should Joe Biden concede, and then you have Jack Dorsey and you have people on Twitter. I don't know if Zuckerberg joined in or who did at Alphabet, but I know Jack Dorsey did in no uncertain terms. When they join in with Hillary Clinton echoing her sentiment saying, we will remove any misinformation that claims on Election Day that Donald Trump has won. Listen, the two are inextricably tied. The current DNC and big tech, they're working together also because they understand that the DNC will offer protections to them with a double standard that they would not offer to other companies. Again, that's all I want. I don't want them to necessarily be declared a public platform. I want social media companies to have to determine and answer, are you a public platform? Are you a public square? Or are you a publisher? Because two very different rule sets. One is what you use now to be afforded these legal loopholes, these legal protections, while you still selectively implement the law. The other, okay, well then you're just like the New York Times and you can censor your comment pages all you want, but you need to decide. So I want to be clear about that. And finally, the last thing, the argument is the dying wish. Well, okay, you know what? Jiminy Cricket can go screw himself. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't give a rat's ass if there was a shooting star, if it was a solar eclipse. They're saying, oh, her dying wish, which no one can verify, by the way. It's like a TMZ
she's
story.
She's 87. It's not like she was saying it to John Cena. You don't just get a dying wish.
Well, she did say it to John Cena, and then she was reiterating it to her granddaughter.
Well, that's
and she said, I told John Cena, but he just kept doing this. What is this? I was very confused.
He said they brought back the ice cream sandwiches, which is all I can digest.
Oh my God!
I needed blended
and soup.
Yeah. You know when your strongest argument is dying wish, you're screwed.
Well, look, let's take a quote from her when she wasn't dying. She said, when asked if the Senate should consider justice in election year, this was RBG's response. She said, that's their job. There's nothing in the Constitution that says the president stops being the president in his last year. So it changed. You know, John Cena confused her.
He did.
Listen, let's let bygones be bygones, okay? We can't hold her at her word, but we certainly shouldn't hold her granddaughter at her word. Was it daughter or granddaughter?
I think it was her granddaughter.
Because her daughter probably wouldn't remember the dying wish. Her daughter was probably there. Some kind of maybe son was like, I heard the dying wish. So what was it? He's like, I don't remember because I'm also 85.
You know what's one thing that's a very telling admission of that is that if there was a time that you were going to use a dying wish to say something, you would use it to say, oh, the law says you can't do X, Y, Z. And for all of her faults or the opinions that I disagreed with that she authored, she was a very brilliant legal scholar. And a very brilliant legal scholar, and her dying wish was not the law says you can't do it. It was, I prefer that it not be that way. And that is an honest admission, unlike what we're hearing from the Dems, which is, there's legal hurdles. Oh, there's a blah, blah, blah. No.
Yeah.
She may not like it, but
I wish.
Them's the rules.
Kind of like when you often say, like, I wish I could kick Gerald in the nuts right now.
Well, he does that most of the time.
Don't do it while the cameras are rolling.
No. Look, I wouldn't want to disrupt the flow of the show. I can find him in the parking lot after. It's fine. Yeah.
Jeez.
When you wish upon a star.
Bam. My balls. That hurts.
That's RBG's wish. That's about what I think of it. Okay, we are going to go to people who are not Mug Club members. We're going to play Bad Movie Line, and we have a major announcement to make here exclusively for Mug Club members. YouTube, we would love to say that we love you, but we can't say it because we don't love to say that we love things if we don't necessarily love them, but we would love to be able to talk about love. But for right now, a piss off.